So check this out. This is just today. 2R, 1.9R, 1.25. You can see these on your screen. 2R, 1.86. The total here is 10.01R. And in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how I'm doing that. You're going to see a messy screen here, but I'm going to share everything in full detail with my strategy. Welcome back. I'm doing a special video today because I haven't posted in a while. I hit a milestone in my trading. It's been almost a full year now. In fact, September will mark 1 year that I've been consistently profitable trading exclusively prop firms, meaning I've gotten back out more than I've paid into these challenges and prop firms, and I've been very consistent over the course of almost a year now with my payouts. So I'm going to share with you everything in detail, what you just saw on your screen there a few seconds ago. I'm going to go through every trade, but you're going to have to bear with me because it's going to be lengthy, and I have to be quite honest here with you. If you don't have the patience to sit through this video, then you certainly will not have the patience to succeed in trading. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. If you can't sit through this 20 to 30 minute video or however long it ends up being, then you're certainly not going to have the patience in trading here, because that's simply what it requires here. So before I go any further, a quick disclaimer: I'm not a financial advisor, and anything I share here is not financial advice. It's simply for educational and entertainment purposes only. The results I share with you here are not typical, and you shouldn't expect to do the same. Ultimately, you should consult with a professional before you get into any type of trading here. So let's get into it here now. I'm not going to do any high-tech editing here and crazy edits. This video is going to be very technical, so you're going to have to watch it in detail. You can rewind, whatever the case may be, if you missed something, but I'm going to explain every trade set up on your screen. It looks messy right now, but I'm going to break it down into a very simple strategy that I trade here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back it up. I'm going to go through 2 days of data here, trades, some trades that I took and some trades that I just let go on because I already hit my profit target for the day. So let me go ahead and start by explaining the strategy. I'm going to back up here a minute and I'm going to get into it. So I'm going to start right here on July 31st. I'm trading the NQ. That's what I like to trade. I look at other assets too, but this is primarily my focus here. All right. In a nutshell, if you are familiar with fair value gaps, you're going to understand this very well. If not, you're going to have to go back and just figure out what a fair value gap is. There's tons of videos online to find that. I have a very specific entry model, and some of it does require a bit of intuition and kind of just understanding the market and what's going on for that particular day, week, or whatever the case may be. So let's go ahead and dive in here. I'm going to zoom in now so you can see everything here very clearly. And what I'm going to do here is I marked out all the trades where, again, some I've taken and others I just watched or paper traded because I didn't need to take them. There's no sense to get into this market and take on the risk. This is simply, for me, it's just having patience like a rock and letting the market come to me. So getting into it here, I'm going to bar replay this because I want you to understand what I was thinking and why I took the trade. And in order to do that, I have to go back and bar replay the market through these setups so you can understand exactly how I take these trades here. Okay, so I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to be on the 1 minute chart. I'm going to flip back and forth to the 5 and 15 minute charts here. First and foremost, what I'm looking at when I sit down to start trading on the day are 5 minute fair value gaps and 15 minute fair value gaps. I look at these to find areas of draw on liquidity or areas I may be interested to take a trade in. For the most part, I'm looking at the 5 minute fair value gaps to take a trade out of, and then I'll drop down on the 1 minute for my entry confirmations. I'm going to share those here with you. Here is July 31st, about 5:53 a.m. Eastern time. And there's a 5 minute fair value gap here. I'll move it around so you can see it here. So if I drop back out to the 5 minute chart here, you can see this here. Here is the 5 minute fair value gap. Now there are actually two here, but I have combined them because when they stack like this, in a lot of cases, I like to just draw one box. There's no sense in drawing two boxes. And this is where a little discretion comes in for me. I can wait for price to pull all the way back up to the top, or if I see my setup, I can enter down here. So if I come down to the 1 minute now, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for price to pull back up into this area. So what I want to see here is what happened right here. I'm looking for this specific pattern. All right, I want to see a 3 or 4 candle close. All right, if I'm looking to go short, I want to see these 3 or 4 red candles. It could be 5, it could be 6, but I want to look for that fair value gap inside of this particular price pattern right here. All right, and in here is a very tiny fair value gap. All right, I took this trade right here, and this is where the stop loss is a little subjective. I generally like to get my stop up over the entire 5-minute fair value gap. So for this trade, I actually lost this one. I specifically remember putting this at 23,802. All right, and as this market plays out, you can see it comes up and it does take me out. It barely takes me out. So right here, a little further, right over here, when it took me out, all right, right in this area, it took me out right here. I was very confident after this next pattern that I trade, so I decided to re-enter the market. All right, so the first pattern I'm looking at is this 3-candle pattern, 4-candle, 5-candle, doesn't matter. It just has to be a series of down closed candles with a fair value gap inside of it. Over here, this is what's called a BPR. Simply put, what it is it's a fair value gap, okay, right here, where another fair value gap closes over that, closes inside of that here. And you can see I've circled it right here on your screen. Strong 1-minute fair value gap. I can draw it right here. And then immediately we get a second candle that inverses that little fair value gap. And what I'm looking here for, very specific, this is extremely important. I want these candles to be about the same size. See this blue candle and this red candle? I want them to be relatively the same size. If they are not, then I will not take this trade. And it has to happen rather quickly here, just as it did here. So what I did was I re-entered and then I put my stop above that high, and then I was looking to get 2R out of this trade, give or take. Now what I'm looking for when I get into a trade, I'm looking for the draw. Well, where's the obvious draw? Well, that's down here because these are the lows. This is where I'm looking for the market to go, or it could be a good place for me to move my stop to break even. And you can see as I move this around here, I only need to get to the bottom of this to get 2R. So that as this plays out, it tags my 2R and it comes right back up there. So that was trade number 2. All right, as the day progresses, okay, as we move forward, we're coming over here, all right, and I'm scrolling out, or I'm looking out at the 5-minute here to see if there's any other setups. So here we are. I look at the 5-minute and I identify another 5-minute fair value gap here. So then I draw up my fair value gap right here. All right, I look down below, I look left, and I say, okay, are there any draws in liquidity? And then I also might pop out to the 15-minute chart and take a look at the 15-minute and say, are there any draws of liquidity over here? By that, I mean a 15-minute fair value gap. I don't see any right here, so I don't have a really good target. Generally, when that happens, I got out early because I didn't have any obvious areas on draws of liquidity looking left on the 5-minute or 15-minute chart. So as this plays out here, I'm going to show you my entry here. All right, so let's take a look. Let's keep in mind the three bar pattern and the BPR. So let me play this out here. All right, we'll come over here. So I don't have 3 down closed candles until here's 1, there's 2, and let's see, there's 3. So right here, I have multiple fair value gaps on the 1-minute chart. I don't necessarily want to get into this fair value gap. I want to try to get into as close to this one as possible. So in this case, I put my entry just below it right here to make sure I got filled. And here, again, this is subjective. I can go above the swing high. I think that's what I did here if I recall, or I can go above this area here. So there it is here. And when this comes back up, I'm going to be in the market. So this comes back up, it tags me, I'm in. And then right down here, if my stop was in this area, I'd be at about 1.79R. So my stop, I believe, was higher. So I think I remember getting about 1.25R on this. All right, because I wasn't sure where this market was going, I had no obvious target of how far down this market was going to go. I essentially just got out and took my profit right there. Super simple setup. Okay, let's go on to the next one here. And this is just repetition and practice. And this is what you got to do in trading, whatever system you're trading. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You have to come in, you have to practice this, and you have to watch it real time, and you have to go through these painstakingly long processes of playing this out here. Again, as I said earlier, if you don't have the patience to watch this for 30 or 40 minutes, you're probably not going to have the patience to be a trader. Okay, here's what I'm looking at now. So we come down here, okay, Let's take a look here what's going on. So I had to trade up in this area. Let's go out to the 5-minute and just take a look here to see, because I'm trying to remember what I was looking at in these areas. All right, so we had this giant 5-minute fair value gap right here. Okay, see that? All right. It looks like we were already down here. Do you see this one here? There's another 5-minute fair value gap. It looks like we already tagged into that. But down here, there just wasn't an entry. Let's go back and see if there was an entry on the 1-minute chart here. So as price tag down here, I would need a 3 up close candle pattern or a BPR. And I just never got it. Look, 1 candle, 2 candle, 2 candle up close. Third candle's red. So that's not a 3 up close candle pattern for me. All right. And if it happened further up here, if it happened up here, well, I'm just too far away from this 5-minute fair value gap for me to be interested then, because depending on my draw, I may not, there may not be an obvious draw for me to get for the market to get up that high. All right, so what I was looking here for was a short as it was pulling up into this 5-minute fair value gap here. Let's just take a look here. Let's just play it out a few bars and see if we get that pattern or anything obvious. Okay, I'm looking for a 3 down candle close or a BPR as we go candle by candle here. All right. So right here, 1, 2, 3, we got this. I don't have a fair value gap. Coming over here, okay, we've got a fair value gap. Now what I want here in this is I want the market to pull up a little bit. So my entry is right about here, and I'm putting my stop. I think in this case, I'm right above these swing highs. The reason I'm being a little more aggressive here at my stop is because if you look back, I already got these other trades here. Okay, I already got the 2R, the 1.25R. All right, so I'm getting a little more aggressive and tighter my stops here. Plus the draw right here. This is the current draw. Why is this the draw? Well, we look at the 5-minute, come out to the 5-minute here. All right, I'm using this as a draw. There's another 5-minute fair value gap down here. This is a further draw. So in this case here, I can essentially, in this area, if this trade works, I can maybe move my stop to break even here and then hold for the next draw on liquidity to down here. That's a possibility. Or I can just take my profit and get out if I'm feeling uncomfortable with the trade and I'm already up on the day and I've already hit my profit target. So let's come back down to the 1-minute now and take a look. So price is barely up there again. Let's see. We get tagged in right there. I'm in, come down right here. 2R right here. Comes up. There's no place to move my stop to break even. Maybe I can move it to break even right here. And hold, but look, we're already in the next 5-minute fair value gap. Remember, I'm using that as a draw on liquidity. So this is probably a good place for me to get out. And that's where I got out of the market here. All right. I was just watching this trade. I didn't actually take this because I was in this short possible entry up out of this area here. I just can't recall. I know I was watching it here, but let's just take a look here and see if there's anything, any bounces down here that I'd be taking. I do know there was one possible setup right here. So as this plays out, let's pause it. Let's take a look here. All right, so we have 3 or 4 up close candles here. Here is the FVG, if you can see that. Let me just paintbrush it in right here, right there. That's my entry. All right. Stop below the 5-minute fair value gap. Do I get taken out? Down here. All right, I'm taken out on that one now. So now, because this didn't close deep enough below the 5-minute fair value gap, I'm looking for another possible setup. All right. If I get a clean setup here, I'm considering taking this for 2 reasons. Number one, I think we were already down like 1.1% on the NQ in the day already. All right. Like, how far is it going to go down? I'm thinking that in my mind. Number two, I have another 5-minute fair value gap down here below that. And there might even be a 15-minute if I look at this to back it up. But yeah, there's a 15-minute here. All right. So there was a 15-minute overlapping this. If I just draw that in there, there's a 15-minute right there. There's another 5-minute down here. So I'm looking for price to draw into this area. All right. So I'm looking for it. That's what I'm thinking. So in the 1-minute, when this comes over here, let's just play this out a few more bars. Here we go. Okay, right here. This is, if you look at this pattern, I circled it. This is a BPR. All right. A nice, excuse me, a nice big down push candle. All right. couple candles over, we inverse this 1 minute fair value gap right here. Right here, we inverse that. All right, both candles are relatively the same size. So when I saw that and I saw this right here, I lost and we didn't quite get below that 5 minute fair value gap. Like, I thought, I'm in. How far are we coming up? Well, it's pretty obvious that this is probably going to be an area where I'm moving my stop to break even, or I'm looking to target. How much? Well, 1.5R right here. Okay, right about there. So I'm looking to get. Now I won't necessarily try to take my profit here. I might put a little lower than this just to make sure we get to that area. And I have two options. I either take my profit there, or I am moving to break even. Because I'm already up, I just want to get in and out of the market, and I still had a bias, or I still thinking, okay, we're pretty bearish today, so I'm not going to try to chance this and go all the way up here, because the next draw, if I look at this, really isn't all the way up to here. And what's the likelihood or probability of us getting all the way up here? I don't think it was that good. So I decided to just get out right here, and you can see what happens right in here. We come right up in that area, and then we start reversing. And now it's 11:30 in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting here watching 1 minute candles, and I'm already up like 4 or 5R. Okay, I'm going to walk away from my computer. I'm done for the day, but I'm still here at my PC because I work from home, and I'm just watching the market, paper trading. I'm practicing. I'm honing my skill. I'm looking at, like, okay, what if I took this trade? What if I took that trade? More importantly, I'm building the confidence that I need to take these trades and sit through them and the repetition over and over and over and over again. Okay, so now we're here. Let's zoom out to the 5 minute, and let's clean this up a bit here. So now we're here. Okay, I'm going to remove some of this just so that we can just take a look here. So now we're here on the 5 minute. Do I see anything below? Well, there's a small 5 minute fair value gap here, and it's actually, yeah, a little one there. So we're looking at this. I'll move this out of the way. So now I'm looking at and asking myself, okay, this 5 minute FEG was already taken. I'm going to remove this just for a minute. So now I'm asking myself, okay, where is price going? Well, there's a 5 minute fair value gap right here. We could draw down to this. And I'm thinking, all right, we're probably going to also possibly draw down to this area because we got that 15 minute fair value gap and 5 minute there. So we come down to the 1 minute. I'm watching this area here for a possible long. Let's see what happens. Just play it out. And price comes down, down, and we're right here. So I begin looking. I'm thinking to myself, okay, again, what am I looking for? BPR or 3 candle up close pattern with the fair value gap in it. And if price gets too far below it, then I'm like, okay, that's fine. Let's go down to the next fair value gap level. So as this plays out, I had this circle here for a reason. Let's see if we can find it. Okay, so here we are. No 3 up close, no BPR. We're already through the bottom here. Honestly, if we get a really strong BPR, I would probably consider it, but I don't think we got it. So on the up, it just burns right through it. So there's just no trade right there. And now what I'm looking for, well, the next 5 minute FEG area down here. Okay, and you'll notice these green lines in the chart too. I mark these off because I'm marking off daily lows, and I'm marking off when the market is moving strong in one direction. I'm marking off areas where a 15 minute fair value gap ends or starts as possible rejections in the market here. So let's just play this out in the 1 minute because that's what I'm really watching here. So it comes down to into this next area here. This is the next possible area where I'm looking for a trade on the 5 minute fair value gap, right? So this is it. I'm looking right here. We're down here. I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I can find an entry here, I'm looking for it to draw back up into this 5 minute fair value gap probably here. That could be a good setup. Let's see if we get it here. I want a 3 candle up close. Let's see what the next candle brings me. Okay, there's an up close. Here is a fair value gap. All right, there is a possible entry right here. Let's see. So this goes up, and we're up here. Okay, let me pause it just right here for a minute. So now we're up here, and I want an entry here. I'm thinking about an entry here. Am I getting my stop down here? And I want to come up here. There's my stop, and there's this here. Look what happened in this trade. Look what happened in this trade. We didn't take yet. It's already went up to 1.5R. I'm already up on the day. All right, it's already had its move to 1.5R. Do I want to take an entry here and risk this drawing down further to the daily lows? Because if I remember, let's see if this works here when I come out. If I remember correctly, we weren't at the daily lows yet. It doesn't show it here in the bar replay, but we weren't at the daily lows yet on this day. Let me come back to the 5 minute. All right, and then 1 minute here. So I passed on this setup is what it really comes down to, because I didn't want to take the risk here. And this green line right here, this marks the daily low. And so when I play this out here, that would have been a losing trade for me. So I didn't end up taking that. But look, next setup, I'm thinking, oh, look at this. We're coming down to the daily lows. There's got to be a possible setup here. So as we approach the daily lows, if I play this out, look what happens here. All right, here comes a 2 candle up close, not interested in that. And over here, all right, not interested in that. That was almost a BPR. Didn't quite, I needed to close up here a little higher. No interest. Okay, we're taking the daily lows now. Daily lows are being swept. What am I looking for? BPR or 3 candles up closing. And in some cases, just using intuition here. If I get a strong push up, I'm probably taking this trade. This is where I might bend my rules a bit and some trading experience comes in. So here we go. We swept the daily lows. We're down here. Okay, let me come over 1 candle. We're still down here. No trade yet. Nothing for me yet. Right there. Look at this beautiful BPR right here. I've circled it. See it? I'll draw the fair value gap in here as well, so you can see that there. Okay, that's it. Zooming in on this. Why did I take this? Because this candle right here is immediately inversed in a few candles, and the candles are pretty close to the same size. And most importantly, too, what I want to see is that there's just gap. It just looks like a beautiful gap in between there. And couple that with, hey, we swept the daily lows right here already. So I'm going to take a chance on this. I'm already up for the day. I'm going to take a chance on this. I'm going to put my target up here to maybe, you know, this area right here. You see this right here? Maybe I'm going to move the break even right here. So let's see. That would be my break even. And then maybe we can get to these highs right here. All right, so that is 1.1. Maybe we can get up to these highs. Let's just see what we do. Maybe I can up this fair value gap. It's 1 minute fair value gap over here to the left. So let's just play this little forward and see. Okay, stop right there. I'm break even now on my trade. I'm looking at this. I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm up 1.59R. I'm already up like 5R in a day, 4R. Let's just get out. Why risk it? All right, yeah, I can hold for this. Maybe it gets it. I don't even remember if it gets it. Let's just see. Maybe it gets that high. Maybe it comes all the way back down. I don't really know. I don't remember. Doesn't look like it comes all the way back down here. So that was a good area. Now, let me just come out here for a minute and show you. So do you see this here? Let me just remove some of this so it's a bit clearer. Look. Here's the highest 5 minute fair value gap. That's why I'm getting out of the trade right there, because I'm not risking it. Yeah, I wanted 2R up here, but look, I'm using that highest fair value gap to 5 minute as my draw. So I'm not sitting here trying to be so rigid and saying, I got to get 2R, I got to get 3R. I'm giving what the market presents. If it presents me 1.3R, I'm taking it, or move my stop to break even. All right, it just made the most sense to me in that particular area. So let's just take a look here. There was a valid setup, but you know, we're getting close into the day. It's like 3 o'clock. I'm just not interested in getting the market at 3 o'clock and then sitting through all that nonsense here. So it's a valid setup, but it's 3:44 near market close, so I have no interest. I marked it off there. Let's just take a look at that for fun here to see what it was. So price was pushing down. There are these fair value gaps here. We now create new fair value gaps. Let me get this out of here so it's easy. So we're pushing down in the 5-minute area, 5-minute fair value gap. And yeah, see right here, 3 candle up close right here. Really easy to see these 3 candle up closes right here. There's a fair value gap in there looking to go this way, but yeah, it's 3:40 p.m. Eastern. I'm not taking that trade into the 4 p.m. close. Even if I didn't have a trade on the entire day, I'm just not taking that. So that's that particular day. Let's fast forward into the next day. And again, yeah, this is super boring, but honestly, guys, this is probably the most valuable video on my entire channel and an absolute gold mine, in my opinion, in terms of how I'm trading, because I'm just dumping it all out there. Okay, we're back. Something happened in my charts there. My mouse wasn't scrolling right, but let's get back into it here. So this is the very next day. This is NFP Friday. This was actually today. And I will share with you the trades that I did or didn't take and the reasons why. So let me first explain to you what happened when I woke up, or what happened in between day and night. So Trump came out and he said he's slapping new tariffs on, which was crazy. So I already had a bearish sentiment that day, and I figured, and when I woke up, we were literally already down like 1.7% on the NQ. So I was thinking to myself, how far down are we going to go? Any pull-ups, I'm looking for shorts. I was hoping we pull up because I wanted to short the market. That was just my overall sentiment. All right, so the first trade I'm looking at, I'm going to remove some of these areas so that we can go back and we can just look at this here. And then I'll redraw in some of my levels when we get way down here. The first trade over here this morning. And again, guys, if this is boring to you, I hate to break it to you, but you're probably not going to make it in trading if you can't sit through this. If you can't sit through this kind of technical setup. Okay, so this is 8 o'clock Eastern in the morning. NFP is coming up at 8:30. I got to be aware of those things. I'm not jumping into the market at around 8 o'clock and trying to hit my profit target in 30 minutes for NFP, where NFP can just wipe me out. But there was a valid setup here, so I'll take a look here at the 5-minute, and I'll look at the 5-minute because there had to be a 5-minute fair value gap for me there for me to be interested somewhere. Okay, so it is right over here in this area. It was already mitigated, but it wasn't completely mitigated. So I'm looking at this. And in situations like this, where I'm drawing the 5-minute fair value gap and I have these wicks, like this wick right here, for me to take something out of here, it's gotta be pretty. I mean, because we already somewhat mitigated this. So then essentially I'd just be looking up here, but it's got to be pretty. And that's what happened over here. I paper traded this first one because it was too close to NFP. And I wanted to see what just happened. I'm practicing, guys. That's all I'm doing. So we're just moving this market over right here. And what am I looking for? Simple. I'm looking for that the 3 down close candle pattern or a BPR right on this area here. So price is moving. We come up. Okay, there's 3 up close candles. Let's no, I'm sorry, 3 down close candles in this case. So let's see here. And right there, BPR. See that? Fair value gap here. Immediate, within a couple candles, relatively the same size, not exactly, but it was close enough. That's, again, some trader intuition that I have to use. I'm looking to get above this right here or above this high. This is discretionary, so I can go right here or a little tighter, and then we come out. NFP hits. I think it hits in here somewhere. Let's take a look. All right, almost taken out, wicks down, and look at that right there. All right, that wick gets the 2.69R or 2R, I should say. All right, I didn't take that trade though. So now NFP's over. I am waiting for the market to settle out. And I'm looking for, let's see what's happening here. I'm looking at my draws of liquidity and what's going on. Here's this big pull down. We have this 5-minute fair value gap here. So I'm watching that for a long. And then I'm looking at the 15-minute as well to see, okay, what's happening over here looking left. And I got to look way left for this. over here. All right, so there's really nothing until I get down in this area. There's a 15-minute, not mitigate it all the way over here. So I'd have to draw this all the way over, just like this, up into this area. And let's see where we're at here. Okay, come back to the 5-minute. Again, guys, this is what I'm doing. This is my thought process when I'm going through these trades. All right, so we pulled down. We just burn through these FEGs. Let's see what happens here at this one. Price is coming down. All right, down here. All right, no interest, no BPRs there. All right, and let's take a look here. Back up. Come back up to this area again. Okay, I'm looking for a BPR or three candle down close in this area, and then trade back into the FEG. So here it is. The reason I took this here, it was on the 5-minute. All right, we broke through it a bit, but we came right back down with a beautiful BPR. Do you see this? All right. The actual BPR is only right in here, small area. But look at these candles right here. There's that gap in between. This candle is relatively the same size as this one. We close below that to inverse it. So yeah, I'm looking to take a risk here, get my stop above the highs. All right, where's my draw? How far down is my draw? Well, down here is the 15-minute FVG, right? Let's get rid of that there. I don't know what that is just yet. This is my 15-minute FVG. This is the low right here. My draw is going to be down to this low. Okay? So this plays out. Right here, right in this area. Gotta move this over so you can see it. Moving to break even. All right, so my stop is now at break even. I'm sitting at about 1.3 R. I want to get down to that low. All right, and there it is. Low's taken. All right, so on this day, I'm already done. I've already hit my profit target because I'm already at what I'm risking. You know, I'm already at my target. There's no reason for me to trade anymore, but I do have multiple accounts, so I'll trade them in groups and just to spread the risk out. So my next trade here, I have a 1.9 R, but I don't see where it's at. This might have been this trade here. So let's just walk through this here real quick. So now we're there. All right, I want to just take some of this away to clean this up. So now we're here. I'm gonna remove that. I'm gonna remove this. I'm actually gonna start removing some of this stuff so it's a bit cleaner to see that. Don't need this right now. I don't need that anymore. I'm marking off my 5-minute FEGs. I'm looking for a short, possible short out of this area. Okay, where's my draw? I think I accidentally deleted my draw, my 15-minute draw. Let's take a look left. So price is right here. I'm just going to draw a horizontal line so I can mark it off. We're looking left. So we're currently sitting there in the market all the way over here. What do I see? Okay, I see a low here. This might be a 1-hour low too. Let's just take a look at the 1 hour and see. A 1-hour chart. Let's take a look here. It brought me all the way back over here. All right, so, all right, yep, that's a 1-hour low. That's a draw for me. There's a couple other 1-hour lows, another draw. Okay, so they look like pretty good targets to me when I'm looking at. So that means if we come back up into this area here, I'm looking to get down to these areas. Okay, that's what I'm watching here, and I don't think it happened, but stop right there. Yeah, it didn't happen. I didn't get an entry model here. I would need 3 up close candles or a BPR, and we didn't really get that right here, so there was just nothing for me. So now we're coming down here. I come out to the 5-minute, not the 4, the 5. And I'm looking at this here. I'm thinking, all right, all these 5-minute fair value gaps are stacking now. I don't really want to trade any of these unless we come all the way back up to the highest 5-minute fair value gap all the way up here. All right, because that's just, I'm just not interested when they stack like that. Okay, so here we go. We'll play this out. Okay, a few more. Let's see where we're at in the 5-minute again. Another 5-minute fair value gap forms above. Let me get rid of some of this here. So now we got another 5-minute fair value gap right here. Things are really stacking up. This looks like it was the daily low right here, this green line, if I can grab it. This looks like a daily low right here, right there, daily low. Let's see what's happening here. And that looks like a 15-minute fair value gap below it. So there we go. We take the daily low. Now I'm thinking to myself, okay, let's take a look at this here. We're down here. We just took the daily low. And my draws are going to be the 5-minute. So you see this 5-minute fair value gap right here? That's my first draw. If I get long down here, that would be my first draw again there. Yeah, that area here. So let's take a look what happens. Okay, we're here. This is 1 candle, 2 candle. All right, and let's see. We're coming back in this area because this was the daily low. I remember this trade. And we had this 15-minute fair value gap down here in this area. I believe I just took this right on this tap back down here. I don't think I got a BPR or a 3 candle up close because I was willing to take the risk on that there. Let's just see. So right there, we tap in. And then I'm looking for, this is our 5-minute. This is the 5-minute. I'm looking for the draw up here. So really, if my stop's down here, I could go for a couple of these. I could also put my stop below this green line down here. I forget, this might be another 1 hour wick low. And if I want to be really safe, 1.8, 1.7 R, give or take. And we're up there and I'm out. My break even, I'm going to move the green line. Look right here. Okay, right in this area, break even for me. So this really explains it. This video is getting a little long here for me as well, but this should give you an idea of how I trade. So you can go back, you can rewind this video, and it really is what I do just about every single day. It's boring, but it's what's working for me. So can't guarantee it's going to work for you, of course. There are tons of ways to trade out there. There's no right or wrong way, but I wanted to essentially give back because I haven't posted in a while and share with you guys how I'm trading. I hope you guys enjoyed the video here. There is a Telegram link in the description below if you want to check that out, where I post updates periodically. There may be some other links in the description in the future there, but thanks for watching, and I will talk to you soon.